What's going on, everybody? My name is Javier, and welcome to another episode of the Capital Report. So, it's been a crazy start of the year. Here we are in March, the day after St. Patty's Day, and it's been so much. I feel like ever since COVID, time has flown by. It's almost like we're like in an alternate reality, Dragon Ball Z style, multiverse. But I do feel that there are a few things I wanted to touch on today, and I feel it's super important that everyone hears them and takes massive action on it because there are grave implications for the things that are happening in our country right now. On multiple fronts, it's not just about the war in Iran or the Epstein files or everyone's 401ks or the real estate market, but there's just so much social unrest, so much social division that I feel that the crescendo is soon to come. And I want to make sure that people are mindful of that because there's been so many situations that have occurred that people have just done senseless acts of violence towards each other. And there was this famous picture that I saw, and it was the picture of the earth, and someone drew, like, imagine if you were a child and you kind of were riding a stick figure house with the little chimney smoke coming out of it, and the picture was just, this is home. I want everybody to remember that for a moment, that no matter what country you're from, no matter what religion you believe in, no matter what language you speak, we are all human. And the deplorable things that we do to each other for money or power or influence, it's just unfortunate, to say the very least. So I'm 27. I'm going to be 28 soon. So this is not only just to speak to my younger generation, my generation, or people that are older than me. It's that over the next couple of months, with this Iran war heating up and so many people so ready to just cut your head off if you don't agree with what I agree with, or you don't think the way that I think, or you don't believe in what I believe in, I think that we all need to have a pause. We need to stop. Just the first question out of anyone's mouth when you meet someone new, it's like, are you a Democrat? Are you a Republican? Are you a liberal? Are you a Green Party? That shouldn't matter so much. And I know that the people are going to say, oh, well, it does matter because that's kind of where you base your core philosophy off of and where you base your morals on. But if anything, in the last few months, I think we've realized that people on both sides of the aisle have a pretty low bar set for their morale, for their morals. So I think it's important to look at people's character. I think the content of your character speaks volumes more than anything that you might think of politically or even religiously. This spring and summer coming is going to be, we had a tough winter. In the Northeast, we had a tough winter. We had a couple of big snowstorms that we haven't had in a couple of years. We've had like sub-zero temperatures for a couple weeks. We had 80-degree weather one day and snow the very next. So I know that spring break just happened and people are already out on the streets going buck wild. I think that this summer is going to be a big summer. I think a lot of people are going to want to go out and have fun. I think it's very important that everybody hears this message, that you should be very vigilant this summer. You should be very aware this summer. You should not go out and just let loose to the fact, to the point where you're not aware of your surroundings. I think women and men alike, because women have their own set of worries that they have to worry about that are specific to them, but men as well. Men also have a set. And this is not to say that violence can't happen to either kind of person, but men are going to be out there on the streets bugging, right? Like a lot of people are going to be out there just fighting for no reason, arguing for no reason. Yo, you stepped on my shoe, I'm gonna knock you out. That kind of stuff is not in play for this summer because everyone is on edge and people are shooting people for no reason. People are losing their lives and getting hit by cars, and they're just, it's hot. It's a hot year. So I think if you're going to go out this this summer and you're going to have fun with your friends, or you're going to go on vacation and you have an American passport, given all the things that's going on geopolitically, I think it's time for you to have pause. I think it's time for you to be very vigilant. I think it's time for you to strategize with your friends or your family and plan things accordingly and correctly, and have a game plan when you want to do something as a group, and not just willy-nilly it, let it go, last minute, and whatever happens, happens. Because when whatever happens, it could happen to you. So I think it's very important. I think that not a lot of people are looking favorably on the United States right now, and people who are United States citizens. I saw a reel the other day that it just went viral for a stupid reason. It was this girl who, like, the beginning of the reel was like she was like big into astrology and stuff like that. So she was like, oh, when POV, like when you're an astrologist and you know what's coming for America, so you act proactively. And like the whole reel was just like her packing her bags and leaving the country. And like there were just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of comments of just like everyone like, oh my God, what do you know? Like blah, 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 blah. And I feel like that specifically is exactly what's wrong with people. Like the decision to be made here is not to pack your bags and leave the country because you're scared of what happens. Like if you're an American, you love this country, you aren't focused on leaving it and escaping somewhere else. Because if you really think about it, the freedoms that we enjoy in this country, where else are you going to have that? Where else on earth are you going to have the freedoms that you have in America? I don't know the answer to that question. I don't think there is one. Canada is worse than some of the countries, right? Depending on where you stand, but it is a beautiful country. There's lots of mountains, and it all depends on your lifestyle too. Like if you want to go live in the wilderness and explore, Canada's awesome. There are some countries in Europe that are awesome. You can go to Australia and go chill with the kangaroos. You know what I mean? So it all depends on what your perspective is. But I feel that just like making a video like that and it going viral and just like scare porning a bunch of people who maybe not know, who are not privy to like either astrology or just general geopolitics, it's important that you don't just freak out and say, oh my God, the world's going to end. What do we do? Because the world's not going to end. The day the world ends, nobody will be preparing for it. Nobody will have anticipated the end of the world. It's just going to happen, right? So I wouldn't put too much emphasis on that. What I really wanted to say to everybody is just focus on what you can do in your individual life, because the powers that be, we can't control that. What we can control is our community, our love for one another, our love for our family, our love for our friends, our love for our jobs and our businesses, and the connections that we can make intertwining our community. And that's really the key to wealth anyways. You guys know that this podcast is all about financial literacy, trying to get your credit up, trying to get your business running, trying to get your mindset right, and understanding different geopolitical lanes so that you know what's going on with your taxes and everything to that degree. But it's also about a sense of understanding your sense of character and knowing that it's important the way that you speak to people. It's important the way that you speak about yourself when you're alone and trying to figure out this game called life. So it's super, super, super important that you keep that front of mind, because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people tugging you this way or that way, or telling you that you should believe this or you should believe that. You will never find peace if you're always listening to everybody else, if you're always worried about everything that's going on outside of your control. Your circle is what you can control. The more attention and more focus that you give to your circle is the better that your life will be. Because face it, the older you get, the more anxious you'll get, the more your nervous system will come under fire of all the things that are going on and bombard you with all of this attention and all of these politics and bombs and killing people and all this crazy stuff that's happening in the world. It's important to be in the know, but not consumed by it. Same thing with finance. There's a million finance questions. There's a million things that are going on in the markets in gold and silver and oil. And one day the oil is up $100 a barrel. The next day it's 86, and you might have taken a position long, and now you're short, and now you've just lost a whole bunch of money, and your account's blown. And oh my God, what do I do? Sometimes doing nothing is the best decision that you can make, because it gives you a chance to collect yourself, to collect your strategy, to collect your thoughts, to collect your capital, right? This is the capital report. It's all about protecting your capital. You can look at dollars one way, or you can look at it as an asset to get you what you want. I guarantee you, everybody watching this video right now, you don't want money. Nobody really wants money. We want what money allows us to get. Money is only one half of the transaction. If money didn't exist and we were all trading smooth rocks, everybody would want the smooth rocks, because that's what matters to get what we want. So this obsession that people have with money, it's not about that. You can get what you want in this world without having money. Having a sense of community and networking with people and offering a service or a product or your expertise on something, that's invaluable. Each and every single one of you has a gift. You may not know it yet. Some of you may have. Some of you may have not honed it perfectly yet, but we all have it, because we're all human and we're all special in our own ways. So it's super important that everyone keeps that front of mind, especially as this war progresses, because when a country is at war, lots of different things change. Governments change. Elected representatives change. Oil prices change, right? Fuel prices change. Inflation goes up. Inflation changes the price of your goods and services, right? Everything that was, $100 6 months ago is now $130 today. Regardless of what people say or what reports come out, we're not stupid. We can go out and see that things are more expensive in the last couple of years. That's just life. So don't let people pull the wool over your eyes. Don't just believe people because they might be, someone who you believed in the past. People change. People are allowed to change. People are allowed to change their perspective on things, and you can't hold it to them, because we're all in this learning experience together. So that's what I wanted to tell you guys today. I wanted you guys to keep that front of mind, because it can get considerably worse than what it is right now, fairly quickly. So having a game plan, understanding the risks of where you are in the world, what you can do, where you can put your money to keep it safe, to multiply it, to put it in a vehicle that makes you, there's no such thing as passive income, but an income where you can not have to work hard in the sense of manual labor, but in the sense of you can executively control what it is that you want to do and what it is that you're creating. That's where the passive income comes, because there is no such thing as passive income. Can't put my money in something and there's no work that anyone does. Someone's doing the work. Maybe I'm not doing the work, but I'm taking the risk. So even if I'm not actively doing something, I'm passively taking the risk, because if I buy something that gives me passive income, I'm taking that risk and it could go down. That's just the name of the game. So don't feed into the lie that there's such thing as passive income. I can buy this thing and it can make me money and I don't have to do anything ever. If that was the case, we'd all be rich. Let's just be real. No matter what, face it, place in the world you are. Even people say, oh, real estate is passive income. Yeah, well, when the faucet in the toilet breaks, who's got to fix it? If you own it, you got to fix it. So don't let them people lie to you. But keep your head in the game. Work with your community. Scale your business if you have one. If you don't, start one, because that's the only thing that's going to save you from these high income taxes. Who do you think is going to pay the brunt of all of this war spending, right? Taxes go up. Whether it be through straight up taxes through our elected representatives, or inflation and companies, major corporations raise their prices, you pay that tax. Even if it's a silent one, you will pay it nonetheless. So keep that in mind, and drop your comments. If you guys have questions, if you have something specifically you want me to cover, drop it below so I can read it, internalize it, analyze it, and get back to you on my next pod.
I have a question.
What's up?
Give me a credit tip for the week.
A credit tip for the week. How can I give you a credit tip for the week? Outside of the average 30, keeping your utilization down, I think the best way right now to make money is arbitrage spending. What arbitrage spending is, let's just say, for example, I have a credit card, right? And the credit card has $2,000 credit limit. If you can find a way to purchase something, you name it, right? Let's just say, for this example, you can do, when you go to Costco, I saw a lot of people buying Pokemon cards. Pokemon cards, funnily enough, is a great investment if you know what to buy and when the general releases are, and like Costco's and BJ's. But even if you're not buying Pokemon cards and you're buying sneakers or you're buying clothes, something new that has value, you buy it on your credit card. And prior to that's why the entire thing is a whole step-by-step process where you have to plan what it is that you do. But this is exactly what I did to grow my credit. Let's just say you're buying some Pokemon cards, you're buying the package of it, and it's $50. You know you can sell it online for $100. Well, you buy it with your credit card for $50. You get the the cash back percentage. You get the credit utilization because you just bought that on credit. Then you turn around, take that Pokemon set, you sell it for $85. You don't have to be greedy. It's worth $150. You just made $30 risk free. And then you take that $50, you pay back your credit card, and you have $30 tax free. Now, don't call the cops, don't call the IRS because I'm giving you tax free advice, but pay your taxes, be a good Samaritan, but be patriotic. But that's a way for you to credit hack, right? You just made $30. You just paid back what you spent, and the credit card company sees that you spent money and you paid it back quickly. You have 29 days to sell those Pokemon cards or whatever, insert your favorite object there. And if it doesn't work, you just return it and you get your money back and you duplicate the process. I did that for about a year and a half when I had no job and I was just trying to credit hack. I used to go to discount stores like Neiman Marcus and Saks Fifth. And I literally just went to the clearance rack for all of their designer clothes, and I bought I bought whatever had a red tag, and I had 29 days to return it. Red tag clearance was like, let's say for example, it was a Burberry coat that's out of season. I bought it in July, and I waited until the end of the next month, and I just posted it online, and people would buy it and hold on to it until the fall, and then they could wear it. And it was usually 50% off, 60, sometimes even 70% off discount. So, and I'd made good margins, and I had my usage always coming out, because when you start buying designer clothes, you're not going to pay $50 for, it's not like Pokemon cards. You're going to spend $1,000, $1,500, $1,200, $800, and those things sell, and you make good money, and you make a couple $100 every time you resell it. So that's how I started. I built myself up a nice little cash reserve, and then it is what you do. Like once you're creating cash like that, well, go buy yourself a gold bar, go buy yourself some silver, go buy yourself something that's tangible, that's not in dollars. Protect your wealth. That's the best tip I can give anybody. 100%. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Peace.